In our last two sessions, we've discussed a letter from a man who complained about his upstairs neighbors who were making far too much noise. I suggested that first he realized that there was no way he could control his neighbors, which he was trying to do, and that he first consider looking at his own behavior, which was angry and unloving. Then I suggested that he talk to some friends about his anger and create opportunities to feel unconditionally loved. Real love is the single power most effective in eliminating anger. So now what? Back to the writer of the letter. If you're not consumed with anger, there are now lots of things you can do in this situation. First, think about how much of the noise they make is unavoidable. A great part of your irritation comes from simply wanting to control them. You want them to make no noise at all. Lighten up, sweetie. They live upstairs, probably on a wood floor. Most floors are wood. And it's simply impossible for them to move around without making some noise. When they walk or move chairs, the vibration will be transmitted to you. If you lived upstairs, you'd be making noise for the downstairs neighbors too. Now, if even these unavoidable noises still bother you, you still have choices. You could wear earplugs. You could move to another apartment where there are no upstairs neighbors. A big part of you is struggling with the fact that you believe they have no right to make these noises, and you don't want to have to make any effort to respond to their noise. Well, you might just have to. I've known friends who have had to move. You might have to move. That's just one of the possibilities. Some people simply can't live in a downstairs apartment. They can't live with the little noises of upstairs neighbors. And I've had friends who wear earplugs at night because of the noise. These are just choices to consider. But being angry about them makes no sense at all. But these are choices if they're just making little noise. Suppose they're really making a racket up there. You might go upstairs one day and ask if you can speak to them. Now, I have two major suggestions here. First, do this at a time when they are not making noise. Do this when everything is calm. People don't respond well in a crisis. Second, don't talk to them if you are the tiniest bit irritated. If you're annoyed, they will feel it, and the conversation is guaranteed to go badly. Without irritation, however, you might say something like this to them. Quote, I know it's hard to live in an upstairs apartment. Every noise you make can be heard downstairs, which is not your fault. Most of the time it's not a problem, but sometimes when it's late at night, the music is loud enough that I have a hard time sleeping. When that happens, is there some way that you'd prefer that I could ask you to turn it down? Would you rather, for example, that I came up here, or should I just call you on the phone? Which would be the best way for you? End quote. Most people will listen to a genuine, humble request. Before you protest that this won't work, try it. Many people have tried this, and it has worked most of the time. If your request fails, then you can ask your local police department what they recommend about excessive noise. Most communities have ordinances about noise. Your apartment manager may be willing to take action here too. If everything fails, you'll have to live with the noise or consider moving to a different place. No matter what happens, however, remember that your anger is the most destructive force here, not their noise. Make decisions about what you're going to do, but not with anger. Life is way too short to ruin it with that.